And even Dan Kelly suggested the fact it may be jealousy.
I'll tell you where I'm at, Michelle. I personally, this shit she's doing, if it was me, I would just blow it off.
Honey, I can't blow it off. It's really easy for you to say.
Everybody seems to know there's a problem in the Smalls area. Dan Kelly knows it. He calls it strong personalities. Other people who have worked there for years know it. They have done this to others. This is all hearsay. I even talked to another girl, Melissa Copper, who they've done this to, and she told me that they filed complaint after complaint after complaint against her, Sandy Pierce and Chris Peak, trying to get her fired from being a supervisor. It didn't work. She's still there. I don't know what. All I have to do is to show up. All I have to do is to show up for work, and it aggravates them. I told Dan Kelly I don't know what else to do except not come into work. I've even done that a couple times because I didn't want to deal with it. I've always been able to come to work, do my job, do an excellent job, and go home and be able to look myself in the mirror. Nobody has any proof that I've ever done anything wrong, and all the supervisors there will give you exemplary remarks about my work ethics and the way I work.
Again, why? Well, maybe you answered the question. The reason that they're taking shots at you is because your numbers, you work hard, they don't like that?
Yes, you've got to understand that's very rare in Smalls, I was told. And
I've been with UPS for 30 years.
Yeah. Yes.
Part-time operations.
I work very hard, and I keep my numbers up there, and it's consistent. And I was told that that's possibly because I myself wondered why me, and even Dan Kelly suggested the fact it may be jealousy because I am a hard worker and I keep my numbers consistent.
You kept mentioning a bunch of people that could vouch for you,
Yes.
management and or co-workers. Is there any statements that you brought with you today in regards to that to
At one time I had
defend your case?
At one time I had one from Kevin Shields, and I tried to find it and I couldn't find it. I trained him at the airport.
So you don't have any of those
I
with you?
don't have it with me, no. I didn't know if I'd be allowed back in the building, and I'm not sure I've got a current number on him. I have done nothing wrong. I have people that will vouch for me, people that will tell you about my record, people I've worked with at the airport, the supervisor. It's been so many years, sorry, I'm getting older, but the manager I had at the airport, I know he's around here, I've seen him before, but he would vouch for me because of my exemplary behavior at the airport. So why am I going through this? They're not only they're gonna lose a good employee.
Anything else you want to add?
I hope I covered it all.
Is there anything else you would like to say in rebuttal of the company's case?
I would like to say amen to that because I believe the whole reasoning why I have not been terminated or why I've not been punished in any way or written up in any way is because I have people that have been interviewed down there, the supervisors of all the belts I've been to, the Dan Kelly, Denise Reynolds will vouch for me. I've got Kevin Shields, a supervisor who I trained at the airport who will vouch for me. I've never had a violent bone in my body at the airport. Why would I start when I come here to Dixon in the Smalls area?
Does it?
I think Chris, if she submits it, it goes to Dan. I don't know how.
I think Dan's fucking with you, tell you the honest God truth. I honestly think he
I
is.
think, yes, I agree with you, man.
I think Dan's fucking with you, tell you the honest God truth. I honestly think he
I
is.
think, yes, I agree with you, man. I can't even
He hates me.
Strong, fast, he does everything he can to fuck. Strong, fast, he does everything he can to fuck. Strong, fast, he does everything he can to fuck.
These cameras that you guys allegedly have promised for over a year.
That promise was made originally by the HR manager before my tenure in security. At the time, there were no cameras in Smalls, in late November of 2013, a camera system was installed. I believe the camera system that is watching small sort is not for surveillance so much as it is to help with volume control.
So it's not there to film the individuals working?
That is not its intended purpose, but I think eventually that is going to be done.
Nobody asked the girls or guys down there, is she following Michelle around? Is she hitting Michelle? Is she walking into Michelle? Is she throwing things at Michelle? Is she intimidating Michelle? Nobody ever asked anybody I work with that.
HR, you guys knew there were problems, right? I mean, she's up there asking about cameras, right?
Correct.
I mean, she's got issues that she's worried about. She wants to have physical cameras up there to watch some of this stuff. What was the deal with the cameras and why they didn't get put in? Or what was the holdup?
There's cameras in there, and I have worked through loss prevention with that issue as well. And Andrew has positioned some cameras, and to my understanding, it was the angle in which these cameras were positioned, and why I didn't pick up on some of the mat issues. They're positioned in a closer area. I guess it's the further away they are, the pixels aren't able to pick up on some of the closer interaction.
So there are cameras up there.
Correct.
Cameras are focused in the work area, not the position of the map.
That's the hard part, Michelle, and I told you that before. We didn't have any cameras down there to see anything, and there was nobody else that saw anything.
PS doesn't want Michelle or anybody to have to deal with a unsafe workplace, and a workplace that's got hostility and discrimination. It needs to stop. It needs to stop, and that's why we're here.
And I was told there was going to be cameras, and I felt safe. All of a sudden, I finally felt safe. Somebody's going to see this happen. Well, in July, she hit me, but the cameras weren't on. So
Mr. Chairman, point of order.
Saw that.
None of that was in my presentation as far as the camera issue that she's referring to.
I have avoided Michelle at all costs and tried not to be in the same area until we start work. There is absolutely no proof. I've asked them to look at cameras numerous times. I've asked them if they have any footage. I don't even know if they have camera footage. They told me they're putting in extra cameras because of all this crap. They have been trying to cry violence before, and no one believed them. I have never been reprimanded or written up for any violence. So why now? I've had to sign that paper because of their constant going up to the office and complaining. And I have had to sign the paper because they have to review, that's agenda. They have to review the violence paper with me, the harassment paper.
Linda Bates continued to violate the anti-harassment policy after having the anti-harassment policy reviewed with her on 2 separate occasions and a meeting with the HR manager.
She clearly stated her 100% innocence. Even became upset with myself when I suggested that maybe they both had a role in it. And that is the role part of which Dan Kelly clearly stated that he believed Linda. So, anything else you'd like to add?
Well, it is basically a he said, she said. I've been told this over and over again. He said, she said. So, my point being, if I have an exemplary record, and I've never done this before,